Hello guys, I'm Nagul Mira Mankali. I'm AI engineer and AI aspirant. Currently, I'm learning and exploring more on AI related topics. As part of my learning, I would like to share knowledge, what I have learned and what I have experienced. I wanted to you guys to experience. I started the working with the LLM series, so I have completed four parts. This is the fifth one. So as part of part 5, I'm going to demonstrate to build a AI applications using the tool calling. So in my previous part 4, I have explained the what is tool calling and what is the importance of tool calling in AI application development. So today we are going to see like a real use case and then real implementation with some application so that you can see the power of the tool calling. So now let's understand like a basic definition of tool calling, right? So what is tool calling? So as we already know that LLMs are like a pre-trained model, so sometimes which may not have a up-to-date information. So if you want to have a real-time data or up-to-date information, we will be using the tool calling technique. Such a way, this tool calling help you to connect your external tools such as like your APIs, database, and then others, so that it will go and connect and then get the information from the your tools and then give the information or context to the LLMs, so that LLMs is able to provide the better answer from the real time. This is the importance of tool calling. So now let's see like what we can do with the tool calling, right? Executing the external functions and then access real time data and then query the database, read the files from your system and make a API call. So for example, if you want to run some commands in your mission, so we can simply write some bash or shell commands, and then we can invoke those commands or functions and then access the real-time data. Means like if you have some like a data, if you want like a stocks data, or if you want to like a what is the today's currency kind of a data, you can connect to those APIs and you get the real-time data. If you have a lot of if you already have a existing database, right, you want to provide the information on your data, then from tool calling we can connect your database and then get the your organization specific data or your private data. Reading files from your system, for example, you have a lot of documentation about your product. What we can do, we can utilize this tool calling or function calling. We can connect or we can read those data, all the documents, and then we can send those information to or send the information as a context to the LLM, so that LLMs can you provide you the better answers from the provided context. So make a API call. Want to invoke some API calls to get your organization specific or private data or some relevant data using your up-to-date information, so that you can use the function calling to connect, which will invoke your API. Now let's understand the use case, right? Today I'm going to demonstrate how to build a AI documentation assistant, so that it will help you to provide you the better answers from your document. So for this AI documentation assistant, we are going to use some of the technologies. Basically like we need basically LLM, so that's we are using the llama 3.2. so to deploy these LLMs we have to use some of the infrastructure, right? So I already explained my previous series Olama is a kind of a tool or software which will help you to deploy models in your local disk. So we are going to use the Olama as a tool to deploy a llama 3.2 in local machine, so that LLM is available for us. Next, to build the interface like user interface, we are going to use this Streamlit. Streamlit is like a very easy and then powerful user interface from Python SDK. We can easily spin up the user interfaces. So third one, we are going to use the like a Olama Python SDK. This Python SDK like a predefined function which will connect to your llama LLM. So these are the three specific softwares or tools we are going to use as part of the implementing the AI documentation assistant. So now let's take the use case, right? So the use case is simple. So you have your own product, you have written a lot of documentation about your product. So that documentation is scattered in different places and different folders. So if somebody asks for your customer or someone asks for some question, then if you in the traditional approach, right, you need to go to your relevant documentation, you need to search it first, and then you need to go to that documentation, and then you need to read the content, and then finally you need to answer to your end customer, right? This is like a traditional approach. With the AI assistant, right, so what we will do, right, so user is going to ask simple directly asking the question as part of the user interface. This is called chatbot or chat assistant. Rather you help them, so your customer directly can use the AI assistant to ask the question in your natural language, so that your AI will help you to provide the better information to your customer. So internally, your AI assistant or your chatbot will use the LLM's tool calling technique. It will go and read your product data and then it will provide the better answer. So enter this demonstration. Our objective is to how to use the tool calling technique to provide the better answers from your data. Now the impact, if you impact before versus after, right? So without AI assistant and then with AI assistant, so manual file searching, 5 to 10 minutes per lookup, remember the file structure, read entire documentation and context switching, disrupt flow. So these are the, like, if you don't have a AI assistant, then you have to do manually all this. So if you implement a AI assistant with tool calling, then it is automatically figure it out the file detection using the tool calls, and then instance answers means AI can easily process your large amount of data, and then it will provide the better answer to your customer what he have asked. And then the customer easily can ask the question in plain English, even though your product have a lot of technical details, but the customer might not to know technical details, so that he can ask in simple language and then get this specific information, because AI is smart enough to understand the natural language questions from the customer, and then it is able to find the very relevant answer. I connect to your documents via tool calling, stay in your workflow. So these are the benefits before versus after, right? So who is benefited if you implement these kind of document assistants? Developers, technical writers, and then new team members, especially like in any organization. If you have some already existing application, if new developers or new joins came to your organization, needs to spend a lot of time on make them understanding about your product or applications, right? So with this assistant, right, it's very simple, like they can ask any questions around your product, and then it will able to answer. And then DevOps engineers, support teams, and product managers, these are the like benefited from the this documentation. Now let's look at the complete flow, right, how it happened as part of this AI assistant, right? For example, any user who is asked question natural language, and then we will use the Streamlit UI to capture the question, and then the Streamlit UI is connecting to Olama client, means like a LLM model, and then with the tools definition, because we are using the tools, right? From this AI models is smart enough to identify if there is a need to call the tool, then it will invoke the real implementation function, that it will get the file content, and then it will take the file content as a context to the LLMs, and then based on the content, it will provide the relevant answers to the end customer or end user. This is what the entire. Now, as I said, like any of the tool calling, if you go through my previous series, part 4, I have explained the what is tool calling and how to implement a tool calling as part of the AI application development. Now let's look at the steps, right? Step 1, you need to define your tool in a simple array of JSON format. Here, if you look at here, this is a definition. What is like a type function, and then what are the function you need to mention your function name and then description. This is a very important to LLMs can understand more from the description. And then you need to provide you like what are the function argument. So here, like if you read the file, you need to use a type and this. So this is nothing but need a file name to get the file. So this is simple definition. Now we need to implement a tool, right? So you have defined your tool here, and then or a function here. We need to implement the real function here. If you look at the real function is a read file, simply go and read the documents from the docs folder. So this is like a tool definition and then implementation. Now we will be using the LLMs to pass this tool information and along with the natural language question, so that LLMs is able to identify whether we need to call the tool or. So that's what here happens. So we are using the Olama chart, is a predefined function as part of the Python SDK of Olama, and then we pass the model, and then we pass the user question along with the tool. Now if you see here, like part of this one, it is asking installation guide, but LLM is understanding that there is a need to call the tools. Then it will figure it out the what specific tool you want to call. Here in this case, it will call the read file content. So now the response will tell you like what tools need to call, and then we'll iterate to each tools need to be called, and then we will execute the real functions here, and then we capture that information as part of the message. So once we capture we call all the tools and then capture all the messages, and then all together we are sending this message to LLMs as a context, so that from the context it will provide the original answers what user has asked. So this is what the tool calling flow. So first you need to define your tool, and then implement your tool, and then utilize the LLMs to identify which tools need to be called, and then we will call that specific tool. It's real implementation. And then finally we capture that information and then send it to the LLMs to get the better answer. So now real world example, user is passing the or asking the question in the natural language, and then it will figure it out. It needs to call the read file content, and then it will pass the specific file details. LLMs will able to identify which file needs to be read, and then finally like it will read the content, and then enter content will send it to the LLMs, and then LLMs will be capture the specific information based on the user. So these are the like a key benefits, like we'll be using the natural language, asking the question, and then automated search LLM is able to figure it out which file needs to be called, and then context aware, it will capture the your documents from your tool calling, and then finally it will aggregate everything and send it to the LLMs. And then real time means like it's specific to your documentation. If your document keep updating, then you will get the updated information as well. And then user friendly, nothing but like we are building the user interface Streamlit that help us help users to interact with your document. So this is like a when to use tool calling. So the simple scenarios we can understand like when to use tool calling. These are the like key takeaways: bridge the gap, and then clear definition, reliable functions, and then combine the tools. These are like a key takeaways here. So now let's get into the real application, how it works and how to implement. So here I already have a AI assistance for your documentation using the tool calling. So if you look at the my project name is LLMs tool calling AI assistant. So here if you open your app.py is a Python function. So we have defined like a three specific tools. One read file, and then list all files, and then search file. So here we provide the, like what are the arguments required this function, and then what is the importance of this function. So each tool here, so we have three here, and then three have the name and description along with the parameter, and then required parameters detail. And then this is like a array of tools definition. So as I said, like we already have a tool definition here. Now we see the real implementation. As part of the read file, so we are going to read the files from the docs directory. If you look at here, I already provided the list of MD files which have the related to the product documentation. Assume this is a product documentation. So I have these documents here. So what it will do, this read file content will read the specific file given by the LLM. So this is a read file. List all files will be connect to this docs directory, and then it will list the list of the available documentation. Search file, like it will help you to, based on your user input, it will able to figure it out the specific document. So these are the three functions or implementation we have done as part of this Python implementation. And then we have a like a how to run the tool, like this is like another abstraction of calling the. So this is real magic happen. What will happen, we will collect the all the tools, and then along with the user question we pass to the Olama LLM model, and then here it will figure it out the which tool needs to be called. So as part of the LLM will decide what tool needs to call, and then also it provided the argument needs to be passed. So as part of the response, we will be iterating the response and figure it out the what kind of tool we need to call. Then we'll execute the relevant functions here. For example, if you want to read file, and then it will execute the read file. So as part of that one, it will collect the all the information from the each tool calling, and then we'll append it as part of the messages. Finally, the collection of messages we are passing to the Olama LLMs as a context. So this is a real magic happen. Two things, like one, we'll use the LLMs to figure it out which tool needs to be called, and then we will be calling that specific tools, and then we collect the context, and then again we'll send that collected context to LLMs to figure it out the specific answer. So this is a Streamlit related UI implementation. So all we need to define the Streamlit, and then we need to set the page related configuration, and then here we need to collect the what I'm doing right here. I'm adding the two configuration to set the documentation folder where your documents are available, and then finally like it will read the user input from the user input. Here is a prompt. From the prompt, it will collect the prompt, and then it will send the prompt to the LLMs using the function. So this is what the function we are going to use, run tool call function. If you look at here, this will be calling as part of the stream. See here, this is calling this as part of the stream. So this is the implementation. So to run this implementation, as I said that we need to have a Olama already installed and some model should be running. If you look at the readme document, so I already provide the steps to how to run this application. So this application for this example will be available as part of the AI code with GitHub, GitHub AI code with GitHub. So you can go there and you can get this implementation and you can run it in your local machine. So if you want to, so this is a AI code geek repository. You can come and then get the specific application here. So I haven't committed the code to remote. I will do that one later. So this is page you can this is a GitHub page you can get my repositories. So now let's run this application. So what we will do, these are the installations, or sorry, this is here is running the application. So we already have a documents directory. I already kept the list of documents here. Then we are going to activate the Python virtual environment here. I have opened the command prompt and then cd to the project directory and then activate Python virtual environment. So install the required libraries here as part of the virtual environment, and we also need to check the llama is running or not. We need to check like llama is running or running in the local. So you simply just run the what is the llama is running, and then you can pull the llama model what needs to required for this example. For example, we need now just pull that model. So I have pulled the model. So actually when you install, Olam is already running in my mission. So if you want to run particularly, then we will use like Olama, so like 3.2 llama 3. So when I run this, so already it's running, right? So it's saying that a port already binded because it is already running. So go and verify it. Just use like a localhost 11434 and then verify it is running or not. So now the llama is running. So now llama is running. Now run the Streamlit application. Streamlit run app.py. That's where we implemented the Streamlit. So once we run this one, it automatically open the browser. As part of the browser, it will already select the .docs folder, and then it's saying that what model we are using. So this is what the AI documentation assistant. Now let's ask the questions like list markdown files here. So it will go and figure it out what are the list of files available in the docs folder. So these are the files available. So now ask further questions. So enter this example, right? We are using the tool calling to, which will connect to your local document system, so that it will get the information from your local documentation only. This is not like it's like a pre-trained data. It's specific to your documents information. Verify it like you simply open .docs folder and then take the one of the example. Let's ask this question API end. Now I just asked to summarize the API.md. So taking some time because it's a local deployed model, have a lot of computing power. So it takes some time to get the process this data using the llama 3.2 model. If you look at here, like it is it summarizes the what are the content is available in the API.md. It's how beautiful here. So now let's ask like this question I'm asking simply just to test this one. This is what the information provided by the LLMs. This is what the power of tool calling in LLMs. So with the help of tool calling, we can connect to your external tool so that we can get the up-to-date information. So hope you guys enjoy the session. Thank you.